Alright, I thought we would do another workflow video. I'm going to change the style for the sake of time, and we'll get some feedback from you guys on which style you like better. Would you rather see me work all the way through it? It's a much longer video. Or in this case, we're just going to do a side-by-side comparison and see how I got from one to the other. So we'll see how this goes. I'm going to work my way through a couple of different styles of video, and we'll get on something that actually works for the majority of people. So this is sort of a continuation of the last workflow video. We've got our final part from last time on the right hand side of the screen and the new part on the left hand side of the screen. And again, I worked from the part on the right and I transformed it into the part on the left, and so we'll sort of go through this. So I'm going to attempt to maybe roll these forward one at a time, and we'll kind of look at each one as we go forward and talk my way through it here. So first component, the revolve one, is the same on both parts. There's nothing different between them here. Let me get this one on the right zoomed in a little bit. And we'll go down to Boss Extrude 1. I don't know that I need to talk through these so much. Now, I organized the one on the left a little differently. So I went ahead and added the tapped hole first here, and I did the circular pattern that formed the holes, and then we get down to Boss Extrude 1. Now you'll see on the other side that those two features fall later. Boss Extrude 1 is the same both sides, so we haven't made a lot of changes other than some reordering here. Next is the 1/4 inch hole in that arm there, and on the right part we actually did the other arm first before the hole, and so you can kind of see on the left I did some grouping. So now Boss Extrude 2 is slightly different, so here's where it starts to be different. So my idea on the left part was that let's say that this part was forged or partially forged and then finish turned. I wanted to do more of a forged style arm on that side instead of just a plain arm that stuck off. Obviously, again, machining both of these would be very expensive or fairly expensive. You'd have a large block of aluminum you'd have to machine them from. So we're not going to go there, but we'll go ahead and talk about the forge. So basically the difference here is the part on the right, this arm is extruded to full depth. It's 1/4 inch. The part on the right is extruded, 1/8. And so I'm going to make half of the arm and then mirror it across its center plane. The part is symmetric top to bottom, essentially, except for where it goes into the arm. You'll also notice that on the, hold on one sec, guys. If I turn these to a back view, you'll note that on the part on the left, I move the arm up. So that would be a better position if that was attached to, let's say, a rack and pinion. Again, this is a generic part, so it doesn't have to make a lot of sense, but I changed the center line of the arm up as well. So the way that I did that was, if I go to the Boss Extrude, you'll see that it's on the sketch plane, and let's see, how did I do that? It's been a little bit since I looked at this. Oh, I've got plane 1 up here that I didn't show you guys. So plane 1 is how I'm getting my offset, and I just rolled it back and added plane 1 and then rolled it back down. And I reassign the sketch. You can do that by clicking, if you right click, excuse me guys, gotta go to the sketch and do it. You'll see this says edit sketch plane. So I just reassigned the sketch to plane 1 instead of being on, I think it was the top plane originally, yeah. So that's a difference between the two parts. I went ahead and put the hole in on what? Where did that go? Oh. That actually is not being used. That's another discussion for another video. So we'll skip that for now. So let's look at our right part over here. You'll see that this 1/4 inch hole actually puts the hole in the arm. What I've got here for plane 2 is I have the plane running down the center of this arm. So what I did is I think I did I picked I made a line off of the sketch and I set it perpendicular. So let's go there. So you can see the sketch pick here, this dashed line, and then the top plane was used to set it perpendicular too. So you'll see that perpendicular is selected and then the line. So let me jump back to that sketch real quick. So this is one of those things that I'm not sure that I agree that SolidWorks should allow, because it's extremely bad practice on my part. Is there a reason that I did that? Plane 2. Surface extrude was sketched on plane 2, and then the boss was okay. So real quick, I'm going to explain this. So sketch 15 was created before plane 2. If I unabsorb sketch 15, if I roll back just above sketch 15, it'll separate the boss extrude from it. You'll see a temporarily unabsorbed features warning there. Come on. The problem here is SolidWorks allows something that doesn't intuitively make a lot of sense. Sketch 15, I mean, it's nice to have it, but it's terrible for workflow or someone that's got to work on this afterwards. Shame on me for doing it. I should have made a sketch that wasn't absorbed. So that's something that I'll warn you guys you shouldn't do. You're going to confuse someone afterwards. Bad form on my part. So I was able to link plane 2 to sketch 15 and then use sketch 15 in the boss extrude, which then nests the sketch after plane 2. It moves it down, but you wouldn't, if you had it rolled up to just, if I go like this and then roll it back, it's confusing that plane 2 doesn't seem to be attached to anything. So this is just bad on my part. So let's move on. You guys know that that's not good now, so we'll move on. So then we've got a surface extrude here, and what the reason I did this was it gives me something to extrude up to. It puts a little taper on the end of the extrude. You can see the surface extrude there, an outline of it, so I can extrude up to surface. The surface can be jointed or curved, and it will still extrude up to it. So we'll look at the boss extrude 4 and you'll be able to see it. And then on the boss extrude, I tapered it. Now the problem with tapering this boss, oh, by the way, this original arm was done in an extrude that is not merged. And that was so I could work on the arm separately and then join it back into the main body, because if you merge it, it presents problems with mirroring and a number of other things you'll see. So on this boss extrude 4, we've tapered it, which I wanted these two sides tapered, but the consequence of that was it also tapered this back face. I'm going to go ahead and fillet, I'm guessing, the sides and the top. So you can see that this first fillets the bottom. Actually, we'll do those one at a time. And then the next fillets the top. And I went ahead and mirrored this component and joined those two together, so you can see that this is a symmetric part sticking into this component. We're still not past just the arm portion, so that's why we're not jumping over to the right part just yet. I'm going to do a trick called delete face, and what that does is it took the taper out of the back of this. If I hide this part, you'll see that delete face just allows me to it's an easy way to remove those tapers that I don't want, and it'll join back to that original face. And then we're going to get a combine, so we're going to turn that body back on because it'll probably turn the whole thing off. And we're going to combine the parts. And then what you're going to see is, let's see, did it do, oh, it actually joined up pretty good. Okay, so now we've moved on. So what we've got here now is this kind of forged looking arm. The other thing you'll notice is that this sketch is different. So if we look now to the right, you can see that originally the hole was 4 inches out to the side and 2.5 inches up off the back face. I've changed it to 2.5 inches off the side and 1.75 inches up off the face. So those are small changes. I also changed the radius size and I changed my offset. So, you know, that's all basic stuff. All right, so next we've got some filleting over here on the right, and we're going to get a fillet on that first arm, and we're also going to probably poke a hole in it, and then we're going to mirror the arm. And so you can see that I did filleting in the hole and then mirrored it. On this side we've got the hole and the arm but no filleting. On this side I did the cut extrude right away. Over here it's down one more. Let's see what fillet we've got over on the right side. So on the right side we've got a fillet 6, which does the filleting in this back face here. And then we've got our cut extrude, which is going to give us that flat. We've got our holes. You're going to note that I changed the circular pattern. So I rationalized in my head that maybe the brake calipers would be on the left part, would be 2 holes. On, I don't know what I was thinking on the right part. It was, I guess, an interesting talking point, but didn't make a lot of sense. Fillet 1 is going to be the fillet on the nose right here. That has not changed on either part. It's buried in the other part, but it hasn't changed. Chamfer hasn't changed. We'll keep stepping forward here. Fillet 2 are these fillets on this piece here. We'll stop right there and we'll see the difference over here. So on this one we just did the cut extrude, and then we're going to do a surface offset, which is these 2 faces here, and I did it again in one piece because I needed that entire face to extrude to. I then extended the surface, and that made the surface stick all the way across this opening. So I just extended it one direction, and then you're going to see that Boss Extrude 3 extrudes up to that surface. So you can see right there the reason I had to do it is because that extrude hits both of those faces. So if we look at Boss Extrude 3, we open it up, you're going to see it says up to surface, and then it's surface extend is the surface that's extruded up to. And then we're going to get to a bunch of filleting that I saved for the bottom because fillets tend to break things. So fillet 2, fillet 5 runs around the outside of the part. Fillet 5 over here, and 2 and 5 are the same. Fillet 5 runs around the outside. The difference here is this fillet 6 is in a different spot. Fillet 6 over here, you'll notice just does the base, so you can see the difference. We've got them both highlighted at the same time. We'll zoom in on the right a little bit. Fillet 11 on this side, so we don't have that over there. Fillet 11, you can see, did the outsides. I wasn't able to get it to link up correctly in the middle here. Did just these 2 inner edges, got it to flow around the back just fine. Notice that it didn't run across the bottom here like this other one does over here on the right. So back to the left, we're going to do fillet 4. And you're going to find that sometimes you have to do fillets in order them like this to get them to flow out correctly or not fail. You have to fool around with how they're shaped, and as you do this you sort of get used to why they fail, and you can sort of tell what's going on. So you can see in blue fillet 4 runs around the inside there. Fillet 12 probably will run around the bottom, which it does. Let's see, fillet 1 is going to be the big nose fillet. That's the one that didn't change. Fillet 7, we're still on the left side here, guys. Fillet 7 is, what is fillet 7? Oh, it's the big fillet here on the base of the arm on the right hand side of both parts. So those are the same, fillet 7, they both match, left and right part. Fillet 8 and fillet 8 perform the same function on both part, left and right, same thing, different shape, same part. I'm sorry, different part, same functional shape. Got that backwards, guys. Fillet 9 flows around the bottom and around the arm itself. Hopefully it does the same thing on the right part, which it does. Fillet 9 flows around the base at the back and around the arm. I'm going to guess that fillet 10 is the same, which is the little fillets out on the end of the nose. And then, let's see, what did I do? I've got chamfers here. Chamfer 1 is the same on both parts, so neither one of those changed. They're in different spots in the design tree, same feature. I've got a chamfer 2, not sure what I did there. Why do I not have, sorry guys, somehow I don't have the chamfer on the end of this part. Not sure why that's not there. And then I've got a cut extrude. Let's see what this is. I don't remember offhand. So let's see. Let me discuss that real quick. So on this part, you'll notice that this is a through hole. It's a 1/4 inch through hole. So I imagined on my imaginary part that we actually wouldn't have a through hole, that we would have a tie rod end, which has a taper. And so this one here is probably the suppressed feature that used to go here. And now we've got this taper. And so I will save that for another time, another discussion. I hope this workflow helps somebody. This was how I got from the part on the right, and I developed the part on the left from the part on the right. Further development, we'll say that it's Rev 2 of this part, and I hope the workflow helps you guys. Try a little different talk-through style, went a little quicker. Please let me know in the comments which style you prefer. If you'd go back and watch the other video, let me know if one's too slow, or if you like that I actually talked through making the modifications live instead of talking through them. That'll help this channel become a better channel for me, and a better channel for you as well. Hope this helps somebody as always. Talk to you guys later.